Welcome back. My guest tonight's the founder of the American Conservation Coalition. He's also the author of the new book, The Conservative Environmentalist, Common Sense Solutions for a Sustainable Future. Let's welcome Benji Backer up late with me tonight here on the Final Five. And Benji, it's been about a year since we've last seen you around these parts. Congratulations on the book. It's getting a lot of great reviews and a lot of positive reaction so far.
Well, thanks, Jim. It's great to see you again, and really appreciate the work that you've done to shed light on so many important stories. And this one is another one where this book, and the reason I wrote it was because for so many years, there hasn't been a right-of-center voice pushing for environmental protection. There hasn't been a book put out by somebody on the right about environmental protection and how to do it in a way that works for conservatives and for America as a whole. I have this belief that nature is nonpartisan, the environment's nonpartisan. It used to be that way. We used to debate solutions instead of the problem, and we can get back to that, but conservatives have to get to the table, and this book outlines how, not only for conservatives to understand, but also for liberals who want to reach across the aisle.
And this has been a key theme, especially with younger voters, environmental issues, no matter whether they come from the left or the right. And many people who have worked with ACC have been on this show in the past talking about many of these really important issues. The question is, how do you find something that gains critical mass right now, something that you can get a lot of people on board with?
Well, one of the really hard things, and this is something I give you a lot of credit for, you have nuanced, complicated conversations, but most people in the media do not. This is, a very soundbite heavy world that we're living in. Divisiveness sells way better than common ground and solutions do. So I think that's the biggest hurdle that we face, because the reality is most Americans see eye to eye on environmental issues. They want clean air, they want clean water, they want sustainable agriculture, they want cleaner energy sources, but they also want reliable energy that they can have when they have to turn on a light or cook food at home. They also don't want to pay $1 million more than they should in terms of their electric bills and their gas tank fill-ups. So, there's this kind of unanimous agreement about this sort of approach that I outline in the book. But again, the problem is we're living in such divisive times where the most insane ideas sell, and those ones aren't even possible, wouldn't even really help the environment, like the Green New Deal, or people are just denying it altogether. We have to work together and realize that there's more common ground than we had probably thought on this issue, and hopefully this book helps people realize that too.
So in terms of policy last year, we saw the White House and President Biden get through, at least 2 years ago at this point, the Inflation Reduction Act, which included a lot of money towards green energy efforts. One of those things was towards a push towards getting more people into electric vehicles. But we have seen many manufacturers maybe back off manufacturing a bit. Tesla is getting out of the business of building their own charging stations out there. Is this a matter of maybe the government thinking that the market dictates something that just doesn't have the demand at this point?
Well, I think, honestly, Jim, the problem is that the government and honestly the political left for a very long time has focused on solutions that are all or nothing. I mean, it's been all electric vehicles or nothing. And I could have told you 4 years ago when I toured around the country for 60 days in an electric vehicle. I now own a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, so I'm very much in favor of expanding that in this country. But I could have told you that these promises to be 100% EV by 2030 or 2035 were not only foolish, but short-sighted and not realistic. We have put too many eggs in the renewables and EV baskets, and people are going to be frustrated by it, but I criticize that in the book. I mean, we need to have the willingness to continue producing internal combustion engines, hybrids, and electric vehicles while we're figuring out what technology is best and looking at things like hydrogen vehicles. We need to do the same thing on energy. We can't be closing off our ideas for the future because we think that something needs to be, a winner rather than a loser. Unfortunately, and this isn't just the left, the right does this with oil and gas too, yeah. But both sides are picking winners and losers, and it's not, we're all a loser when that happens.
When you mention oil and gas, everybody likens a state like Texas thinking that it is a state that runs on nothing but oil and gas, and we've seen a lot of talk about Texas in recent years when it comes to how it provides energy to its people. But one thing that we've seen Texas do, unlike many other states, even though it is a conservative-leaning state, they've really walked the walk when it comes to things like wind energy.
Yeah, look, I mean, they're the leader in wind and solar in the United States, and they have been a leader in wind for a very long time. Despite a lot of pushes against wind at the state legislative level, people are embracing it there because it's helping their pocketbooks, it's boosting their communities, it's creating jobs, it's actually lowering the cost of energy. The other flip side of that, though, is that they are balanced out by natural gas and nuclear and other energy sources that provide the power when the sun isn't shining and the wind isn't blowing. The reality is we need that to be the case as well. And I outline that in the book, basically that solar and wind are never going to be 100% of our energy portfolio, but they will always be an important complement when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing. Texas has proven that you can balance all that and still improve the environment at the same time. And that's what Americans want.
The book is called The Conservative Environmentalist. Benji Backer is the author. It is #1 on the Amazon charts when it comes to energy policy, and a lot of people. You were on The View talking about this, so I feel honored that you are joining us on this show having these conversations. Benji, congratulations.
I'll go anywhere. I'll go anywhere. And Jim, you're an incredible voice for this movement of building a better America as a journalist that listens to everyone. And so I'll